Hello again, all you wonderful people, and welcome back to another episode of Ecologist Plays. As you can see, we are back in Green Hell, and we are here in Omega Camp, which is down in the swamps. So from our first map over here, we went across this bridge, as far as I recall, went into this second area, went down to Anaconda Island, meandered about, climbed up here, and we went to the airport. And at the airport, of course, we got the map for this second area. We then went down, swam a little bit, and last time we made our journey through the marshes over here, and we drank some ayahuasca here at, I think it's Lambda 1, is that location right over there, and we got to Alvarez, which was trapped in a cave over there, and he of course is dead, so rest in peace Alvarez, or I guess rest in pieces because of your broken leg. But in any case, we are now back here in Omega Camp, and we have got a few things to do. I think we should go down to this spot over here. We haven't actually been there. And we can, of course, go to that climbing spot over there. So thanks to the grappling gun, which we now have, which we got in the cave there with Alvarez, we are now able to go up there and go and explore this region of the map. And I think we should go up there. We should go down or up to Delta, a point over there, and then go down to this spot over here and see what we can find as well. But before we do any of that, there's something very important that we must also do, and that is to find the cure. Before we actually finish the story, it is very important that we go into this tent over here and find the cure. Now, of course, there's nothing really that says, okay, this is the cure. You have to kind of piece things together. Now, Dr. Smith, the leader of the expedition, did feel that the Anona, the custard apple, was a very good candidate for the cure, so we are going to just quickly have a look and see if we can find one of those and then use that in the cure or in the machine to see if we can get the cure. Also have to be very careful. There are very often quite a few natives that do spawn in this area, so just keeping an eye open and also keeping my ears open to listen out for the singing, which I can't hear at the moment. And let's see if we can find a custard apple. Now, it seems that sometimes the plants in this game are actually quite randomized, and they seem to actually despawn when you reload a game. So last time there was actually a custard apple right next to our camp. However, I couldn't find it at all now, or I couldn't see it at least. So let's have a look. Sometimes they are also up here. Now, of course, plants overall do have their preferred spots that they will grow in, and there's a rattlesnake right over here. Hello, Mr. Rattler. And goodbye, Mr. Rattler. And of course, as I said, plants have got their preferred spots that they prefer to grow in, and that's because they prefer certain moisture levels and things like that for them to grow very well. So oftentimes it's light with plants, or moisture levels in the soil, or things like that. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't seem like I can find any of the custard apples. But then, of course, spoiler alert, and this is your spoiler alert for the remainder of the game, okay? Very, very, very important, that spoiler alert. If you don't want the game spoiled and you want to go figure out what the cure is on your own, now is your chance to first go and play the game and then come back. Now, in the game, there are 3 clues that will point us in the direction of what the cure actually is, or what you can use to find the cure. The first thing would be that there is a recording from Mia in the tutorial that highlights the ritual that some of the Amazonian tribes would go through in order to actually vaccinate themselves against the poison of the poison dart frog, where they would burn pieces of their skin and then put poison of a certain frog in those wounds. And then the second thing is a picture that is up in the tutorial as well, up on the tent, about the poison dart frog and the uses thereof in these rituals that the Amazonian tribes would do. And the third thing is that in the illegal gold mine that we went to previously, there's also a note there of the guy that was manning the spy station, basically listening to our radio conversations between ourselves and then the rest of our team, the research team here, where Dr. Jake Higgins said that it is in the children, and he sounded very excited about that, something about it being in the children. Now, looking what happened in the game, Jake Higgins came to the Amazon, he found that there is basically a cure for cancer, and he took that back to the world. And the difference between the rest of the world and the tribes here in the Amazon is that only the tribes here in the Amazon went through that vaccination process with the poison dart frogs. And that may actually hold a clue to why they then did not get sick from the basic medicine that was made in the game. So there was something used in the medicine that's actually toxic, and as a result, the people became sick due to a virus that was then being spread, and the Amazonian tribes never had those issues. And all those things point in the direction that the poison dart frog here would be an important thing to try and use as a cure. Now, if we go and pick this up, we are going to be really in a bad space because of the highly toxic skin of the poison dart frog. But I have got some painkillers here in my backpack, and as soon as I basically eat that, I should then be fine. But before we can actually go and catch the poison dart frog, there is something that we do also need, because the painkillers will get rid of the fever and things like that. It will not, however, get rid of the poisoning. So we need to actually get the tobacco as well, make a little fire, and then just basically make a soup with the tobacco leaves in it, and that should then cure the poisoning and get rid of that. So let's just make our way across these islands looking for tobacco as we go along. I should also have a whole bunch of my stuff just kind of dumped on the forest floor here from when I made the ayahuasca. It was actually quite heavy. So there we go, there's my tortoise shell, and I'm pretty sure I should be finding some tobacco around here somewhere. Just going to keep an eye out. If I don't, I'll be back when I do find tobacco again. Okay, we are back at the camp, and finally we have found something. The Plantain Lily over here can be used to brew basically something against poison. So finally we should now be able to make a little fire. And if we can just make a little fire under the roof over here, we should then be able to brew, or make a little brew, so that we can actually be safe or recover from the poison. So we've got the fire going over here, we've got the tortoiseshell on the fire there with some water that we boiled, and now we also just basically add the plantain lily in there, and that is going to give us a plantain lily brew. Which, when in a tortoiseshell like this, if your water is actually, or hydration is actually is full, like it will be when we drink the brew, then you can actually drink from it twice, meaning that you can heal yourself from the poisoning, well, basically for 2 levels. We'll see for how much we can heal, or you can heal yourself twice, basically. So you get double the nutrients from soups like that, if you do it like that. And we're just going to try and heal ourselves from the poisoning, which will be caused by the poison dart frog that we are now looking for. Here we go. Hello, little guy. Okay, so here we go. Let's see what happens. Okay, we're basically dying. So we're just going to eat the painkillers here for the fever. And now we just have to quickly get back to our fire. And then we can drink the soup here. We drink the brew, and that has healed us completely from the poisoning or from the venom, which is great. So it says there venom wound, but then again, the difference between poison and venom is if you bite it and you die, that is called poison, and if it bites you and you die, that is called venom. So in this case, it was actually more poisoning than a venom wound. But now we have in our backpack, we now have a living poison dart frog. And the thing is that the cure, and here's the kicker, the cure requires a live poison dart frog. So you must, if you want the cure, you must pick up a living poison dart frog. And you must then be prepared for the poisoning that is to come from it. So we're just going to be sanitized over here. Thank you. And we are back here at the sample analyzer. So now, this is the big moment. Let's quickly add the poison dart frog and see what happens. And here we go. Moment of truth. It's a success. We have a cure, people.
This can't be true. Mia, I found it. Answer, please. I have a cure.
And
Come on, speak to me.
nothing. Nothing from Mia. Oh no. In any case, we have a cure, people. This is amazing. So we now should be able to. I never even had poison dart frogs in here. They didn't listen to Dr. Jake Higgins, who told them it's in the children. But here we go, being sanitized and running through. So I think we're just going to take a nap first, and then we'll head out in the to the climbing spot that requires the grappling gun. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay, we are now again wide awake. We should have some water to drink here by the fire. That's all nice and topped up. Let's remember our tortoise shell this time around. And we're going to quickly snack on some fruit over here. La la la. And our vitals are looking quite alright. I think let's have a look. We can eat a bag of nuts as well. So that's now basically topped up almost everything. It's just the protein which isn't completely full. But that's okay. So we are now going to head up from Omega Camp over here to this climbing spot. There should be a caiman between us and the climbing spot. And then we'll see where we go from there. I want to go down to this spot over here. And then I also want to go to Delta Camp or Delta Spot today. I think that's Delta Camp over there. There's Anaconda Island. So Delta Camp kind of overlooks the Anaconda Island that we probably will not be going to now, at least. So let's just get some rope and then we are on our way. Okay, this is the spot that we killed the caiman last time. There are still 2 bones lying over there. Can't see the caiman. However, we have got our grappling gun spot over here, climbing place. So let's head up there. And a normal climbing spot right after that. Brilliant. So now we basically are where we haven't been before. We are now in this area over here. So let's head a little bit more south, which should be to the left up here. Yes, so that's to the left up here. Always keeping a lookout for the pesky little snakes and stuff. Okay, so in terms of the poison dart frog that we were looking at, now there is an interesting ritual in the Amazon, not really to get immunity against things like, for example, the poison dart frog. Here's a climbing spot to go down, so I think let's head down here. But there is a ritual in the Amazon known as Sappo, if I'm not mistaken. And that does include the use of a poisonous frog. Not the poison dart frog, however. It requires Philomedusa bicolor, basically the large leaf frog. And here, this is the only clean water we have in the game. So you know what, since we've got clean water, might as well drink and top up. So we're just going to fill up our bidons here, bidons, whatever you want to call it. So in any case, the Ritual of Sappo basically is exactly as this game describes the, well, we'll see in a moment.
What the hell happened here?
So yeah, this is the camp that that we visited with Mia at the beginning of the game, in the tutorial. This is the tent. So yeah, obviously quite abandoned and taken over by the jungle again. And we can't seem to find anything useful here, apart from 2 beds. Now, if you really want to make a relatively safe base, this is a good spot, I think, to try and build it, because as far as I know, there aren't any dangerous creatures over here. I could be wrong, I haven't actually tried building a base here. It's also the only place where you have got clean water and you don't need to actually boil the water, okay, which is in itself quite a important thing. Okay, so if we were to head up along the trail on that side, we should then get to the spot that we landed along the river. Okay, so we're not going to go there now, but that's basically from this camp, you head in that direction. I think that's the spot where we came in with the canoe. Mia was standing right in episode 1. Mia was standing at the bottom there and we were on the cliffside, and we made our way down to this main camp over here. So we've been here, but I think we should try and meander about and go down on this side, see what we can find basically here at Psi. That is the Greek letter over there, Psi. So that's where we will be heading now. Nothing for us to scavenge here at the camp, no supplies, apart from more clean water that we're just going to quickly drink. Nothing to help us. So let's just make our way over to Psi. Or if we can find a way up Delta, but I think we have to go past Psi to get to Delta. Okay, so in any case, as I was saying with Sappo, what they basically do is they catch this big, or this giant leaf frog, which is a bright green frog with a white belly. Now, usually green animals aren't that toxic unless they are neon green, yellowish in color, or mixed with other bright colors. But this green frog, the Philomedusa bicolor, is in fact highly, highly toxic. And they catch the frog, and they then basically tie strings around each leg. And they then not really stretch the frog, but they suspend the frog on a little stick frame. Now, in the game, I suspect, it is probably a mechanic that was going to be used to get the poison from the poisoned dart frog. There is actually something called the frog stretcher, which I think you can find in the files, or a picture thereof. I'll post it up at the top there. But basically, this is exactly what happens, where they take the frog, tie it along there, they tie the four legs on the stick frame, and then they scrape the toxins of the frog off with another stick. So the toxins are then dried, and once it's dry, it can last for quite a long time. Oh,
That's the village.
Hello. So unfortunately it's raining, we're not having the best view, but down there, that's the main village. So that will be over there. And that, I believe, is where we do need to go. So let's head along here to go down to the main village. But then, as I was saying, with the dried poison, it's then mixed with saliva usually to not really reanimate it, that we reanimating corpses, but to make it not really living again, but to make it potent again. And then individuals are then scarred or burnt, little wounds are burnt into the skin of the person, and then the toxins are then rubbed into that. Now this can cause death, okay, so please don't do this, and don't do it with any frog you don't know. Poor frogs, they deserve to not be harmed by humans. But basically for the rituals used by the Amazonian tribes, quite frightening, it's just a simple fly, anyway. So for the rituals used by the tribes, they would then experience extreme vomiting for a bit, because it's a toxin after all, it's a poison. But they would then vomit, get extremely nauseated, and vomit, and get a fever a bit, all kinds of consequences of getting the toxin, because it's basically directly absorbed into the bloodstream when you make a little wound on your skin and get it that way. And yeah, then after a while they kind of feel quite good and euphoric and stuff, and it's used as a cleanse, but again there are far better ways of having a cleanse. Now I'm just looking to see if there's anything dangerous down here. And there most likely would be something dangerous down here, but we are going to have to make our way down to the main village, just right over there, and let's just always keep an eye out, see if we can find any natives that would be unhappy with our presence. But in any case, I think the game basically took that Sappo method or ritual, and here we go, we've got some guanabana. Interesting that it's now called unknown fruit again, but it's guanabana that we had a look at last time. And they basically took that Sappo ritual and they changed it into the poison dart frog, which is not the species normally used for it, and they made it into part of the lore of the game. So that's basically just a little bit of an interesting side note. It's actually becoming more common in the US to also do the Sappo cleanse, but as I said, it's not recommended as a medicine. So there's our log, that's our way down. So let's just meander about in this general direction, and then we'll have a way down to the forest floor again, down the cliffside. Notice the bromeliad growing over here on the side of the tree. Another typical epiphyte. Let's just get the rope so you can see clearly. So there's another typical epiphyte. This plant here growing on a tree or on another plant. Epiphyte meaning on top of plant. And that's because it's a plant growing on top of something. In this case, growing on top of another plant. Okay, so on a tree. And they usually do that for a number of reasons. One of the main reasons being that you can actually grow way up in the tree, be closer to the sunlight, rather than having to grow tall like these trees or palms would have to do. You can be an epiphyte and grow on other plants, which then have to grow tall. So it saves you some energy. You don't have to grow up to the top there, but you get the benefit of the sunlight, of being close to the sun, basically. So at the top of being close to the canopy. Let's see what we've got here. Peccary. So if you wanted some meat, there we've got some meat. Now, of course, a second reason why a plant would want to grow on another plant is that you are away from herbivores. You are away from things like peccaries or capybaras or whatever would want to eat you. And the third reason is that sometimes plants can't really handle growing in wetter environments, but they're perfectly adapted for getting moisture while up in the trees. So they would grow in little mossy patches on the trees, and that the moss would then hold some water, but without being waterlogged like the soil may be. So that's another reason why plants would grow on other plants. There's a little peccary. Hello, little one. Bye-bye, little one. So we've got what appears to be a little fishing dock. So there are some arowana, which are these big fish swimming around over there. And we've got a little structure over here. And we've got a coconut bowl, yay, with water. So brilliant. Okay. Now, this, being relatively close to the main village, is probably, I suspect, this is where Mia stayed when we came to visit the tribe, or she came to the tribe the second time. I think let's actually head over to the main village. Let's see. Spider. No idea where it was. There he is, Brazilian wandering spider in the bushes over there. Ooh, I don't want to have a venom wound again today. I'll just shoot you. Okay, right, on the way. Now let's see what we can find at the village. So let's see what it looks like. I haven't been here in ages, so this is going to be a nice little surprise for me as well. Okay. Nice banana plantations. There's an iguana that's running over there. Hello, iguana. There's another iguana. Let's just be careful. Don't want to be attacked unprepared.
Mia? Mia, where are you? Mia, say something.
I don't think Mia is here, dude.
Mia, come in, please.
Nope, nothing.
Mia, come in, please. Don't leave me. Please come in.
Nothing.
Mia, are you there? I will keep looking for you anyway.
Well, we've basically looked for her all the way to the tribal camp over here.
Help is on the way. Come in.
Without any luck, she seems to be gone.
Please, Mia.
Okay, so he basically just has a whole bunch of... He's basically losing his mind because he can't talk to Mia, or Mia is not responding to him, so yeah.
You're not going to believe this.
But Mia is not responding at all. So what we've got here is another spot to make ayahuasca, it seems, another ritual bowl. And we seem to basically have a big old camp over here. We've got some bananas that we can also eat. Okay, not sure how long ago the people were here that there is a banana that you can eat. There's a coconut as well. All kinds of things. Okay, nice big old village. However, completely abandoned for some reason. So, yeah, this is, quite interesting and quite bad. So I'm just going to make a little safe spot right next to the campsite over here, or in the camp here. I'm sure they won't mind, since they are not here. I think should be quite alright. You see, here we go. This is actually the picture of the little wounds that are made, burnt basically, and then they rub the poison of the Phylomedusa bicolor into it. Phylomedusa actually means leaf guardian with two colors. So phyllis, phylum or phylus is would be leaves. Medusa actually means guardian, and that's Medusa, the snake-headed gorgon as well. That the snake lady basically also means guardian, and then bicolor means two colors. So the two-colored leaf guardian, basically the name of that frog. So we are going to, so we're just going to make a little hut shelter so we can also save here in the village. Okay, and I'll be back in a moment. And we're done. Okay, so now we've got a place to save the game, and we are basically where we want to make our next batch of ayahuasca, which is right over here. So next time we will be going up to Delta Camp, right over there. So we're going to have to find a way up. I suspect there will be a cave around here somewhere. We're going to make our way up to Delta Camp, see what we can find in this general area over here. Perhaps explore a bit more along here as well. And then we are basically going to make the ayahuasca here and see what happens after that. So that will probably be 2 episodes from now. So we've got 3 more episodes. And after that, I'm probably going to make a little Green Hell survival series to see what we can do, build big structures, stuff like that. Also while still exploring the game and just overall living in the Amazon, trying to see how long we can survive on Green Hell difficulty, which is the most difficult one, and it's permadeath, so if you die, game over. And the save game basically gets erased. So we're going to try that after the story mode, which we currently are doing. Just put out the tortoise shell on our head apparently, and try to get some fresh water while it is raining. Anyway guys, thanks again for joining me on the adventure over here, and I hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something as well. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and overall just share the knowledge. So hope you have a wonderful time further. Until next time then, stay safe. I will see you guys soon.